Tracy Phillips et Zach Aga.
Hello.
Hello.
I have to congratulate you. Your cabaret show, Crimson and Clover, just premiered and is now running at the infamous Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel at the Cinegrill Theater. And I have to say, thank you for having me. What an impressive time. Why choosing the 20s as the backstage of this incredible story?
Well, we wanted to explore burlesque and cabaret, and it seems like that in Weimar, it was really the genesis of some of the current things. So we were trying to create through story where it started and where that's taken us today, and how we see it now today from looking at the past, if that makes sense.
Zach, you co-produced and produced this. Why was it important in your eyes that the setup is in the past, and especially in this universe that you, Tracy, created around the characters, the protagonist, who is surrounded by this really intimate, grounded characters who are evolving together, and also without saying too much throughout the Cinegrill Theater, it's a very lively moment that you spend. Why was it important for you, Zach, that this was all set in the past?
I think that there's so much history there in that hotel. The hotel is actually approaching its 100th anniversary. And essentially the story we were telling is almost like 100th anniversary of Weimar as a dance style, as that cabaret style that was birthed out of Weimar. So I think that kind of looking back 100 years in the sense of being in this hotel that has so much history and exploring a dance style that has so much history, but is also very young in essence, in the grand scheme of dance as a whole. It gave us a really unique perspective, to approach this old style of dance in a current perspective.
Tracy, can you share with us how you worked with the cast to develop this universe that is very much lively, and also there is a sense of sparks? This is how I felt throughout the show. There is a sense of a sparkling evolution throughout.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very much a collaboration with the cast, in the sense of they, taking what's special about them and integrating that into the story, and being open to what they bring to it as well, and not just my vision of what I thought it should be. I think like they bring their own uniqueness, and I think some of that's just casting the right people, and then letting them also explore character wise and dance wise what they can bring to it that's unique and interesting.
Cabaret is very popular in France, and this is meant to be how cabaret should be in your eyes, you both. How much does cabaret mean to your career?
I think that's a Tracy question for sure. I I think she lives and breathes cabaret and burlesque, and she can elaborate on that.
Yeah, I do. It's very close to my heart. And for whatever reason, I've always been attracted to cabaret, and
Me too.
bringing from watching Bob Fosse's version of cabaret uh, in movies, and I love the small theater shows and the intimacy that creates, and uh, there's such a back and forth energetically with the audience, and there's something really intimate about that, and I think you can touch people on this small scale, on this personal level in a cabaret, as opposed to these grand performances. And I think it's about having that intimacy.
Intimacy, indeed, and also in the style that is very Weimar style that I don't know very well. Can you share a little more about it, and also how it needs to maybe the protagonist or the actors in general, how much do they work or rehearse so that this incredible universe comes together?
Yeah, I think we worked on this show probably for a year maybe prior, and then brought the cast in, and we had rehearsals for a month and a half, which isn't really a long time, but they dedicated a lot of time,
6 days a week.
6 days a week for a month and a half to bring this to life.
Yeah, and these days too, we're not, we were there early in the morning working and late at night after. I mean, we understood that it was a feat to try to produce a whole show in the amount of time that we had. So in the Weimar aspect of it, I just wanted to add that, we really spent hours and hours on it.
Yeah.
The Weimar aspect, we Tracy actually had an infatuation with this character, Anita Berber, and her history in the Weimar culture and who she was, like, I think, as a revolutionary. And she handed me a book, about this thick, and she goes, read this. We're doing a show on this, So every few days she would say, did you finish the book? Did you finish the book? And I went through the book and I highlighted, parts of the story that spoke to me. She had already been through the story, but really she birthed that inspiration. And I think, you can, elaborate on your natural infatuation with that Weimar period and why that spoke to you.
Yeah, I think this woman, Anita Berber, was one of the first people to create performance art, inadvertently create performance art, in the sense of she danced about her trials and tribulations. She danced about the self-destruction that she was going through. She made that into her art. And I don't know how many people did that before her. So created something from this destruction. And I think there's something really poetic about that, and that really spoke to me on a deep level. And I think that's what artists do. You try to create something out of whatever you're going through. And it was very revolutionary at the time. And she also broke a lot of taboos with gender. And this was a very decadent period in this time in Germany. And, between after having royalty and before Hitler, this like period in between that was free, and a lot of artists were attracted to it at that time, and a lot of beautiful artwork came out of that, and I think she was a big part of that, so it was fun to explore.
There will be many more shows of Crimson and Clover throughout the coming weeks. Do you expect the show to keep evolving throughout this time with the audience that keep coming, attending, and being part of the room, literally? Do you expect some new additions at some point at all?
Yes, I think things will evolve as we go along. It's obviously an intact show as it is now, but as a creator, you're just always tweaking and wanting to change little things. And I think as the cast performs with a live audience, things will evolve. And yes, I think things will definitely we're going to keep working on it as we go along.
Yeah, I do believe it's a very technical show,
Mhm.
as you saw. Like there's so many technical aspects, and I think that
Yeah,
in
multimedia.
yeah, and in some sense, I think we bit off a little bit more than we could chew in a sense of like actually seeing all of those ideas come to fruition. So I think, there were certain hurdles that we had to leap that took longer than we anticipated. So I think that even, not only in the sense of like each performance in and of itself is very unique and special depending on the audience that attends. But also like we do anticipate, yes, like adding more elements to the technicality of it, adding more, maybe more light, maybe more haze, maybe some other, elements that, were a little difficult to kind of integrate initially. So I foresee, yeah, definitely changes kind of happening, at least over the next few months of the show.
Yeah.
Tracy and Zach, thank you and best wishes for the tour.
Thank
Oh,
you
thank you.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for your time.
Hopefully we can take it to France at some point.
That's
Yeah.
all I wish for you both.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.